Evening. As everyone knows, the United Kingdom had an election on Thursday, and the winner of this election was nobody. Nobody won. We have what is called a hung parliament, which means there is no single party with a clear majority. And in the event that nobody wins the election, the first runner-up gets first crack at forming a government, which in this case is the Conservative Party, who have just shy of a majority. They're not a long way off, particularly when you account for the fact that Sinn Féin do not take up their seats, which reduces how much half effectively is. They have decided, not inaccurately, that the only people they can possibly persuade into any kind of alliance with them are the DUP, the Democratic Unionist Party. I believe that's a full title. I'm not actually sure on that. They are an Irish party who I have before now paid very, very little attention to, in common with a lot of English people. Irish politics, Northern Irish politics, are not something I'm familiar with. They're not something that gets reported in the news, so I read the news and it never mentions Ireland, and I don't go, oh, there's a gap here, and go looking for Irish news. But they don't seem to be very good people. They don't seem to be people I would agree with on anything. They're creationists, they're climate change denialists, they're rapidly anti-abortion, they're anti-gay rights. You can see why the Conservatives like them. But they're the only people who are likely to give the Tories even what is called a confidence and supply alliance, which means they will pass the budget and they will lend their votes so that the Prime Minister doesn't lose votes of confidence in the Commons. But beyond that, they make no promises, and you have to woo them bill by bill to persuade them to stay on your side. Because they're not really on your side, they've just agreed that they're going to prop you up. That's what it is. It's not, we'll make an alliance with you. That was what we did have with the Conservatives and the Lib Dems in the coalition government. Not just an agreement to prop up the Tory government, but an actual joining in with them and agreeing to help pass their legislative agenda. Nobody is going to agree to do that with the Tories this time around. The Lib Dems could, I believe, make up the numbers, but yeah, nobody thinks that the Lib Dems will agree to prop up another Tory government this soon, including the Tories and the Lib Dems. They're in agreement that that's not going to happen. The only other party besides the DUP that technically could give the Conservative enough votes is Labour. That's definitely not going to happen. Or the SNP, which is definitely not going to happen. So we are likely to end up with a minority government propped up by some religious fundamentalists from a war-torn region of our little patchwork country, in which they are part of a currently suspended regional government, which itself depends on the Good Friday Agreement, which itself includes a clause that the government at Westminster will be an impartial adjudicator. And it's not unreasonable to ask the question, if one of the parties in the Stormont government is also in the Westminster government, how impartial is that Westminster government going to be? It's also not unreasonable to look at these election results and do a little dance of glee for the fortunes of Mrs May.